Thanks a lot for coming in.
Good morning, happy to be here.
Something about this community appeals to you?
This is a wonderful place to live.
For Kelowna Now, this is Camp Mulgat. And we're joined by Ingrid Jarrett, the CEO of the BC Hotel Association. Thanks for joining us, Ingrid.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity, Kent.
So this situation we're in, every day we wake up and go, wow, it is almost hard to believe. And I just can't imagine how hard it is for people who are invested in the hotel business. Just give us some sense of how hard this has been for the people you represent in BC.
Kent, I've been in this industry all my life, being a Kelowna girl growing up, right from when I was 14 and had my first job in the industry. And, British Columbia is made up of a myriad of hotels that span the province. We have about 1,200 hotels, and that means just about every community in the province has a hotel, motel, or an accommodator of some means in it. Our association has just over 800 members. We have about 80,000 rooms and about 60,000 employees. Currently, over 50% of all the hotels in the province are closed. I suspect this week we'll see another 100 or more. And we're anticipating, if we don't save our summer, which is increasingly doubtful, about 30% of those businesses will not have the capacity to reopen. It's heartbreaking. Over 80% of all hotels in Canada, but that figure mirrors British Columbia, are small and medium-sized, independently owned and operated businesses.
Wow.
So it's many of them are multi-generational. Many of them are really the centerpiece of a community where they have a meeting room or a banquet and where Rotary Club meets or all of those different things. And so there's this whole interconnection with the community. And there also are many, many ancillary businesses that are directly tied. So their success is directly tied to the success of the hotel.
Let me just go into those numbers a bit. You said that about 50% are closed down right now, and then 30% of those you project at this point, unless there's a summer boost, won't be reopening again.
Yeah, and that is completely due to their challenge with liquidity and being able to sustain a time when they have no revenue. They still have bills, and there has been economic relief measures, which are very, very welcome. But at the end of the day, these businesses have margins that are so small that over a period of time, they simply cannot sustain their business. The last thing that businesses need, especially small businesses, are additional debt. So as these different recovery measures come in and we can actually access how do these things work, we'll be able to quickly see what the outcome of this will be in the short, medium, and long term.
We saw Accent Inns reaching out and offering discounted accommodation for people who are involved in working in hospitals and first responders. How do you feel about hotels playing that role?
Well, Kent, the hotels over time, for many different reasons, have provided support in this kind of activity. There are many different ways that the hotel industry can actually step in and assist, not only from a medical health perspective, but other demands as well. And, Mandy Farmer and Accent Inns were one of the first that I reached out to really support that national need for Canadians coming home and us being able to provide them a safe place. They've done a remarkable job, and they've been incredibly good corporate citizens. We actually have hotels in every community in the province now. We're looking at close to hospitals. We're looking close to international airports. We're looking for at borders. We're looking at all the different areas where government is currently looking to make sure we're prepared in case we need to be prepared, to make sure that we're looking after the people.
Right. So if I can interrupt, I've heard discussions in different parts of the country where if we have a scenario where our hospitals do become overwhelmed, that there could be hotels that are used, if you will, as a place where perhaps less serious patients can convalesce or be cared for to make more room for people with more acute needs.
Yeah.
Do you see something like that happening in BC? You know,
Absolutely.
if the area demands it?
Yep, absolutely. And I think the other thing that's important to note is those people that work in our hospitals currently, if in fact they are exposed in some way, they probably don't want to go home and expose their families to that. So there's another demand to make sure that, you know, our accommodation sector can step in and support not only our medical workers or the people that maybe don't have urgent care in hospitals, but also the caregivers for long-term care. And I think that there's an enormous willingness for our industry to step up and support this crisis at hand.
So what's the long-term view when this terrible mess is over? What do you do to prepare for kind of a rebuilding phase for your industry?
Yeah, you know, right now I lead this association, and I have partner associations that I work very closely with, both nationally and provincially. And, you know, I feel like half of my brain is, okay, what on earth can we do to help? How on earth are we going to make sure that our businesses survive and that our industry rebounds? The other side of my brain is, okay, let's get strategic and let's figure out how we can operate in a different way. My association right now, we're looking at all different avenues where we could enable our industry and support our industry to operate more sustainably, more efficiently, potentially more strategic. You know, I think there's going to be partnerships and collaboration like we've never seen before. And I think it's because when you're facing something like this, people, they open up their hearts and say, okay, I'm dealing with this right now. Are you dealing with it too? And two minds are better than one. And I have to say, I'm just absolutely amazed at the partnerships and collaboration that's going on right now.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to cut it off there. Ingrid Jarrett, the CEO of the BC Hotel Association. It was great to hear from you, and maybe we'll check back with you in a few weeks and see how things are going.
Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Stay safe out there. Thank you.